Hello again. Welcome to Summit VB Fan. I'm your host, Jeremy Cleveland, and I will once again be your guide on this feed throughout the 2026 Summit League volleyball season. It is time to continue our countdown to first serve. I'm going to be joined by the head coach of the North Dakota State Bison, Jennifer Lopez, in just a moment. North Dakota State on Saturday won the first four sets against Minot State. Minot State got the fifth set, the first three that they counted anyway. From a score standpoint, North Dakota State won 25-13, 25-13, and 25-12. So it was a very impressive effort from the Bison, and I'm really impressed with this team. Let's hear what Coach Lopez has to say.
Two exhibition matches this week. I know what I think, but I want to hear what you think. What are your thoughts on what you saw?
Honestly, just really impressed with where our kids are at. And we have a lot of new kids, so a lot of learning was happening throughout preseason, where our returners come into play, where our newbies fit into those roles, and being able to compete a couple times at home, I think was really good. But overall, a lot of really good positive learning moments that I feel like we were able to take away. I feel like as a coach, I was able to see what I wanted to see on just that growth development in a short amount of time and how that preps us for our fall season.
Well, 7 newbies, a couple of them high upside, I would say. You want to call a couple out on what you've seen and liked so far?
You know, we do. We have a lot more arms, a lot bigger kids in the front row. And so I think just the offensive and block component that they've added, they've had to learn a lot quickly. And just that transition from high school to college is something that they've had to catch up with. But when it's good, it's been really good for them. But got Kendall Warwa, who's working through some of the middle blocker rotations for us. We have Milena Severson, who's been working through on the right pin for us. Didn't get to see her much this week, but hopefully we'll have her back here as we head into non-con. But really impressed so far with what they're doing.
Well, I spoke to an expert coach just moments ago, and that would be Coach Lopez's mom, and she really likes your outside hitters and the fact they want the ball.
They do. And, you know, we pump a lot of balls through our left pin. So whether that's we're in system, out of system, I think they've proven themselves to be able to handle that load. We want them to be able to point score and to be able to utilize them and keep their arms attached still at the end of a match is a really good thing. So impressed with what they've done and just the load that they've been able to manage so far.
Okay, and I know you said you're young, but let's talk about this. She's trying to temper some expectations here. Keep in mind, 10-6 last year in the Summit, 2-bid league, beat St. Thomas, who went to the NCAA Tournament, took Iowa State to 5 sets. You guys return first team all Summit, second team all Summit, and an all freshman. You have some top end talent this year.
We do, and I think a lot of that's just through leadership too. So Lauren Jansen on the left pin for us, Ari Blum in the middle, being able to have the consistency with our bro from last year and her being able to still compete really hard and earn that spot so far for us. I think she's done phenomenal. And so to have 3 kids in 3 primary positions and being able to rely on them in their gameplay, I think has been really positive so far.
Okay. One of the players you brought in, well, let's talk about the 2 from Ada, because one is a legacy, which is really cool because I used to watch her mom play. And then you have a 6'5" kid. You've never coached a 6'5" kid. How are you going to do that?
I haven't, but being able to, I mean, you can't teach size, but the rest of her play will develop as we go. But she's been throughout preseason, been able to train her within practice and have seen some really good things. And she's still learning the game and just the process that we need her to be in and how she fits in within our system. But really impressed with what Milena's done. And then Morgan competes really hard and she's coming in a really good spot mentally, has learned a lot as well, just off different offensive system and decision making, and learned some things throughout the back row and front row that are just different at the collegiate setting level than what high school is, but been really impressed with just her overall development so far. And being local, having a different story to her, I think she's handled that really well. Her mom being a Hall of Famer now here at NDSU and being able to take that with stride and still create her own moment for herself, I think she's done a really good job with.
And nickname is Mo, is that right? That's what I picked up?
We have, yes. So Mo's done a really good job.
Okay, I picked up on that today. A couple of names. Zoe John, I felt like came into her own towards the second half of last season. And where I sit on the bench, I heard a lot of good job Emma from you this week. I think Emma Tallman's made a lot of steps from year over year as well.
She has. We moved her to the right side last year, and so being able to utilize her again as a veteran attacker and blocker, playing within her system last year, I think she's done a really good job of continuing to establish herself. And the more you can balance the offense with arms like that and capabilities like that, she's done a really good job. And for Zoe too, she's on the right side for us last year, moving her to the left pin. She still has opportunities on the right, but just finding her flow and being able to use her arm has been a really good thing so far. So I was happy with where they were both at these last 2 matches.
Okay, very nice. Then you have a setter. You go to the portal. You grab a power 4 setter from West Virginia who was a national top 100 recruit out of Frisco, Texas. And if that isn't enough connection to Bison country, her grandparents went to NDSU. How do you land that? Because not only is she a lefty, but she's 6 feet and she's sneaky.
I know. And it's something we not necessarily were looking at for at the time, but offense is a huge part of where we felt we had to continue to develop, and being able to bring that component in through the portal with somebody that has a little bit more experience was something that we looked for. And I think connection does help. Why Fargo? Why is she coming? She's going from nice sunshine and good temperatures to, she hasn't experienced it yet, but some cold with it. But she's done a really good job and been really impressed so far with just her overall composure, her ability to make decisions, how we need her to make decisions and run that offense, but also her delivery and how she can be a really good teammate within those moments. And so, she's found herself into a role, and I think she's going to continue to grow within that.
Yeah, I'm very excited to see what she does. And then my wife and I were debating, does Maddie Dombeck ever miss your serve location you give her?
So for this year, no, but sometimes I leave it up to my serve and let them be able to do their thing. I know, we built a lot of trust in a practice gym of being able to control their serve and make those decisions. And so there are moments where she feels really good about what she's trying to do, and I let her attack what she wants to attack behind the service line. And she's in a really good headspace back there. And so continuing to use that and her in those moments, I think is going to be really good.
I'm trying to learn volleyball more. So trying to identify the zones. And I'm like, I don't think Dombeck ever misses. So that's kind of fun to watch. Now, here's a big question. You're going to be gone for a month. You're going to be gone for a month. Did you follow the St. Thomas blueprint where they didn't play any home matches in the non-conference to make the NCAA tournament and get road tested since you were so good at home last year?
That wasn't in the plan. Okay. It just happened that way. Tried to host, but just couldn't put the schedule together well enough for us and what we needed and what opponents needed, because they're typically tournament style. So yeah, we're on the road for 4 weeks, and so going to be tested in a lot of ways, but I think really good competition, and get a little bit of a varying style of play that I think is going to be pretty similar to what we're going to see in the Summit League, and just hopefully prep us that way.
Okay. One more question here, maybe 2 more. Here we go. What did I want to ask? I can't even remember sometimes what I want to ask, but you've been around the Summit League a long time now. And as I have spoke to other coaches across the league, especially the newcomers, they keep saying, boy, the Summit's special and this is a tough league. What are your thoughts on how you've seen this league grow as well?
I think it elevates every year. I think the level of competition, the athletes in just their resilience and the level to which we're playing, like, you don't get to have an off day, and there's no off opponent that you can take a back seat to, and you do have to show up. And if at any moment, like, you're just not on your game, like, somebody will capitalize on it. But it's fun to compete against who we get to compete with. We have strength everywhere, and so it's been really cool just to see the progress that we've made as we as a program try to elevate, but also where everybody else is how we keep getting better.
There we go. That was Bison head coach Jennifer Lopez. I'm still not the greatest at technology, of course, so special thanks to her. I did buy a microphone, so I apologize to Coach Dan at South Dakota State and Coach Wynn at North Dakota after struggling with the audio issues on boots on the ground for those two. Finally spent the money at Best Buy this morning and got the microphone. But the good news is I will be using that microphone several times in the near future. I will be boots on the ground here in about 10 days. I'll be there in Brookings, South Dakota for Nebraska and South Dakota State. And then a couple of weeks later, I'll be in Sioux Falls, where Minnesota and Washington will be taking on South Dakota and South Dakota State back-to-back days. So I'll be getting good use of that new microphone here in the near future. And thank you to my wife once again for filming everything. She, still can't get my good side, but I don't think I have a good side, according to her. Even spilled on my shirt today, but it is what it is. It was a great event today at Home for North Dakota State. Saw a lot of high school kids there, high school volleyball players. So shout out to JJ and the Fargo Davies crew. I think the entire team was there. Recognized a lot of those faces. Didn't want to embarrass anybody, so I didn't go over there and talk to them. But it was nice to see a lot of high school volleyball contingent in the crowd today at the North Dakota State exhibition match. And hey, one more time here, and I'm just going to make a pitch as a Bison fan. I know firsthand now, talking to these coaches, seeing some of the teams in action, how good the Summit League is. So Bison Nation, I need you. Join me. Get season tickets. There's 26 reserved season tickets remaining. You can visit gobison.com and get that. So if you're within driving range of the Bison, please get some volleyball tickets this year, because it is going to be a whole lot of fun in the Summit. It is loaded. It is going to be tough night in, night out, and I think it's the best entertainment value in all of America right now. Yeah, I'm biased, but hey, I had a lot of fun with Coach Lopez. Hope you enjoyed this one. Don't forget, on Monday, I'll be joined by Tommy's head coach, Coach Pham, and then on Tuesday, I'll have the Kansas City Roos head coach, Coach Posey, joining me as we wrap up all the interviews on the countdown to first serve. Yes, we play real volleyball in less than a week. Friday night, it's for real. And most of our Summit League teams will be in action. So we'll be doing a lot on this feed all season long. So don't forget to like and subscribe and follow the feed. Until we meet again, everyone, get ready for some volleyball.